As we recap the 2050-51 season, I want to try to get more comments on the video, so I'm going to ask you a simple question. Which part of the format of this series have you enjoyed, and which part have you not? For me, I feel like a connection with you guys has been lost by only doing 2 videos a week. 2 videos a week, 2 videos a season. So I would say the 2 videos a season is definitely something within the format I want to fix going into FM25. Make sure you do comment below and let me know your thoughts on that. I do also think there is a slight chance we can accept that we've almost kind of completed building up the nation of Norway in today's episode. Let me know your thoughts on that. So, let's recap our Champions League group stage run before Christmas. So we started off against Lens and got 2-0 victory. Yatti and Guttlesrud on the score sheet. Then after losing in the Super Cup to Newcastle, we got drawn against them in the Champions League and lost the game 3-1. Niemeyer getting the goal for us. We then came up against Real Betis and we lost the game 4-0. That was back-to-back defeats in the Champions League. 3 points from possible 9. Not impressed. Maybe a simple kick up the backside is what they needed though, as we came out against Legia Warsaw and got 2-1 victory. Yanti and Kodda on the score sheet for us there. That was followed up with a 1-0 home win against Atalanta, with Kodda on the score sheet again, and we only had West Ham left to play before Christmas. And this victory secured us 12 points before Christmas in the Champions League, with Strumman and Guttlesrud on the score sheet. Absolutely over the moon to secure qualification before Christmas. Now going into the winter window then, we did make a couple of sales. Hansen went to Napoli, Steenfeld went to Nice, and then Skrudal went to Ulkissa. You can see all of them on a free, and 2 of them were academy players who just moved on. We couldn't secure them. Now in terms of the ins, I think we made some good signings. Maybe overspent on one from Egerson. So first off, Haftorson coming from Egerson on a free. Contract was run out. We picked him up when we were Egerson manager in 44, so he'd been there for 6 years. And the only con he has is he doesn't like big matches, but in general he's a very solid player to use in the league. So domestically, really pleased to have him. This is probably our overpaid signing. Pal Christian Offsteng came in after I left Egerson, but a very, very good looking player. We paid 4.2 million for him. I just wanted a bit more depth in the attacking midfield. Yeah, like I say, we might have overpaid. And then also Kent Henrik Vislia comes in from Rosenborg as our new attacking left wing back. Really pleased with him. I think he could be a good player. Reminds me of Steinskog, who we had a left wing back with Egerson. So I do think he could be a very, very solid player in the long run. So welcome to the club. Just turned 20 as well, so came in as a very young player. Now also over the winter, we obviously have our youth intake here in Egerson, in Norway with Lillestrøm. So Tom Refsvik, according to them, is our best one. He is a central midfielder stroke left back, and he's very talented. 16 years old, really, really decent looking player. Next one's Arne Nagel. I don't like him. I honestly don't think he's that good. He's got poor finishing, composure, poor concentration. He's not that good in my opinion. Definitely as a striker, not that good at all. Sven Alsaka is a central defender who I do think could be decent. Looks really solid. 6'4", already at 15 years old. I mean, Jesus, kid's gonna be a giant. Then we've got a couple other people. Frode Vick, who is a striker who I think is a bit better of a striker than the other guy. He looks okay. We've got an Norwegian Eritrean defensive midfielder who isn't too bad. I do think he will end up getting capped by that country. Got an Icelandic wing back here. Then we've got Jacobson, who is a right back. So not a fantastic intake, but some decent talent nevertheless. We had 2 games left to look at after Christmas. First off against Lecce, we got 1-1 draw, 92nd minute, equalised from us from Zadro. Before we ended the group away from home to Heerenveen and got a 0-0 draw. Back-to-back draws. But recently, well, all the time, after Christmas, we've always struggled to get back into the swing of things in Europe. So back-to-back draws, I will accept. That's always going to the playoff round against Lorient, and Haftorson and Sundra on the score sheet. Now, one thing to point out is our superstar German Leon Allemann has picked up a very serious injury. He's out for another 3 to 7 weeks, but he's not played a single game for me all season now, and we're in June. And bear in mind, the season in Norway starts in April. So I'll let you know he's been out for quite a long time. And I guess the injury happened after this game, so I shouldn't have probably showed you that. So we got 3-2 victory at home. We went through 5-4 in aggregate in the playoff round, but that would see us in the round of 16 come up against Chelsea. And yeah, have we blown it? A 2-0 lead at half-time ended 2-2 at home, so we now have to travel to London and try to get a result. And a result is what we got. With Zadro and Niemeyer on the score sheet, we got the victory, 4-3 on aggregate, and we would now come up against Tottenham in the quarterfinals. Turns out Tottenham are quite good. In the away leg, we lost 3-0. Half-time was 3-0 as well, so we did well in the second half. But 3-0 defeat in the first leg, I'm concerned. And to be fair, I had a right to be concerned. We held off. We got a clean sheet in the second game. We didn't score though. We went out 3-0 on aggregate in the quarterfinals of the Champions League. But we took them to the quarterfinals again. We've had a decent run in Europe. Again, this Lillestrøm squad is developing. And I do have some plans to massively redevelop the squad. Okay, so the first team to look at is Egersons. Let's see how they did. So, Tuzia, they played in the Conference League third qualifying round. They got 4-0 and a 3-0 victory before coming against Scottish side Hibernian. They lost 1-0 at home before winning 3-1 away. And there's a lot of green here in the group stage. So, Empoli, they drew 1-1 before beating Tobol 4-0. Before drawing away in Ireland to St Patrick's Athletic. They beat Rangers 4-1, Vitesse 2-0, the New Saints 3-0. They look solid. I hope they've gone far. Oh, okay, so round of 16, they knocked out Standard Liège 1-0 away before draw at home. They then lost 7-5 away from home to Rennes before beating them 5-3 at home but going out on penalties. So, first team we've looked at, Egerson, have made it to the quarterfinals of the Conference League. We made it to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. This is looking like we're being let down. So, Odds made it straight into the Conference League group stage. They got beat by Rangers before beating St Patrick's Athletic. Drawn to Olympia. Lubisol is that? Olympia Ljubljana. Before beating Tobol 2-0. Before losing to Dumashka and Man City. And that meant that they went out in the group stage of the Conference League. That's disappointing. The next team to look at is Molde, and they look like they've done well. So draws against Inter, Augsburg and Lives in the first 3 games in the Europa League before victories over Djurgården, Sparta Prague and Hajduk Split saw them get 12 points before Christmas. Going after Christmas, they lost to Leo before beating Sturm Graz. And they came against Augsburg in the round of 16. But unfortunately, a defeat away 3-0 before 1-1 at home saw them go out in the round of 16. So we've had 2 quarterfinals and a round of 16 and a group stage exit so far. The next team to look at is Werder Glimt, and we can already see how this is going to go. In the Champions League qualifying, they came against Sturm Graz, a 1-0 away before 2-1 at home. Then they played Ghent, 3-1 at home before 2-0 away. So very comfortably into the group stage. But then a draw against HJK was followed by defeats to Cologne, Lecce, Chelsea and Milan before draw to Zagreb. After Christmas, a draw to Real Betis before defeat to Arsenal saw them go out in the group stage. We've really struggled in the group stage of the Champions League with other Norwegian clubs, which is a bit concerning because we're now going to check the rankings and, yeah, wait. So first off, the league remains in 8th place. In terms of us, we moved up 6 places. We're now the 15th best club in Europe. Bear in mind, the best we had Egersons was the 4th best club. Now in terms of the coefficients, so we've now moved up to 6th. And personally, I think we've done insane. And if you ended this Build a Nation now, I would say it's completed in terms of we've built up Norway to one of the best teams, best nations in Europe. England, Italy, Germany, Spain and France, known as top 5. Then we're in there with them. We are 6th place and just behind them. Now, this is where it becomes interesting because, as you can see, we now have 2 teams entering the league phase of the Champions League and 1 team in the playoff round. Then we have 1 team in the league phase of the Europa League, and we have 1 team in qualifying, so that's 5. Then we have 1 team in the Conference League. We now have 6 teams instead of 5 qualifying for Euro, with 3 going into the Champions League, which is huge. But these teams need to improve their performances in the Champions League, no question about it. So in terms of how we're doing in the league so far, and just a quick look at that, we lost out on the opening day to Valerenga. Now, as a local rival side, they are proper bogey team for us as well. But after defeat to them, we drew away to Brino and home to Egersons. That's upsetting because Brino were one of the favourites to go down. And we also drew away in odds. So we haven't had the greatest start to the season. We're sitting in 3rd place at the minute with 21 points. Egerson, though, now a lot of people said they are going to drop off and off. The last league tie was when I was manager in 44 and we left in 45. They've actually rebuilt and are looking decent this year. 8 wins, 1 draw, 1 defeat so far. Now, looking at our team, we obviously have had major injuries with Alaman not playing a single league game this whole season so far. By the way, the YEA who we signed, his full name was Yusuf El Akir, if you remember. I did rename him YLA. So, what I want to talk about is we are going to have a bit of overhauling in the summer window. I've decided that, for example, Andres Sundu's been playing central defence for us. He's decent, but his technical attributes have been shocking recently, and I've just lost interest. So we're going to move him on. I also think I might bring in a new central defender to play alongside YELA, who's become a top player, and then 2 new central defenders I fancy. Debe Obando, who is 20 years old, has been good for us, but I think he's more of a backup. So if you look at his ability and make it better, basically, we're going to make changes. We are going to make changes because, like I did mention, I think we are close to big things. We're on the coefficient rankings. France are the next nation we can chase down. France and Spain, actually, we can chase down. If we could overtake Spain, for example, that's mad. If we can overtake France, it's mad. We're 12 points behind them. So we need a couple of really big seasons. And for that, I need to be super greedy with some of the players I've got, just refuse to sell the best players, but also add some experience along with some quality. So we are going to spend some money, we are going to build this squad up even more, and we are going to try to make Billstrom an absolute powerhouse, maybe that's the right word, a giant of European football over the next couple of years. I'm going to push on. So that is it for today's video. Hopefully you did enjoy it. Make sure you do go down, drop a like on it, and I will see you next time.